To accept this call, press 5 now. To decline this call, hang up. Thank you.
Well, hello.
Hi.
Yes, how you doing
Good.
today?
Good. How are you today?
Okay. Jaw's still hurting, but that's something that I got to do after I get out. I can't trust the DOC dentist to do anything right except pull my teeth out.
Well, there's a friend of mine. He says there's only two people I trust, God and me, and I don't really trust myself that much.
Yes. Only half the time.
Yeah, something like that. I can't tell a joke for the life of me, but you get the picture.
Well, that's like the two fishermen. They're sitting in the boat, and one says to the other, all fishermen are liars except you and me, and sometimes I worry about you. Yeah. Anyway, hello.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Your voice changed for a minute. We must be on the airwaves or something. I've been having a little mental thing going on today. There's been high-flying planes leaving chemtrails or engine trails in a direct pattern over this part of the state all morning since I got up and went out to do my job and come back again. And when I was talking with Agnes, anyway, I know that this 5G network has gone into effect.
Yeah, it's really bad.
And I think that's part of the reason why my jaw is hurting the way it is right now.
Yeah, probably. I know the weather affects people a lot of different ways.
Well, they damaged my teeth at Monroe, and I've been fighting it ever since. And I had shingles there, and the shingles attacked me on the right side from the belt line all the way up to the top of my head and down my right arm to the elbow. And I've got fire going on there all the time. And in addition to that, then the dentistry made nerve sensitive there, and that's what shingles does, is attack sensitive nerves and creates them, makes them more sensitive all the time. And I've got fire going all the time, and every once in a while I've got a stabbing pain in the jawbone that goes there. And I've been having this. There's a gland in the right side of my neck underneath my jawbone that's swelled up quite a bit, and it goes up and down, and it doesn't hurt itself, but it causes pain other places. So I'm thinking that it's a saliva gland or something that's been offended by the shingles, and it kicks out to other parts every once in a while. I don't know. It's bothering me right now as I talk.
Yeah. Hey, Patrick, how you doing, man? This is Rudy.
Yes, it's good to hear you. I was looking to hear you. Hope you're doing okay.
Well, we all struggling with this physical body that we stuck with for a temporary amount of time. My dad used to say before he died, getting old's not for sissies, and I understand what he's talking about now. So.
Yes. Yes, it never rains, but it pours,
Right.
That's the Leslie Salt shaker advertisement from years ago.
Yep.
it also goes for the troubles we get too.
Yep. Hey, I don't know if this applies or you're even interested, but a lot of the prisoners that we talk to are trying to look into this stimulus package to get like $1,200. So it appears some federal judge in California ruled that prisoners are eligible, but there's like a deadline and you got to have the proper form. And I don't know if...
Yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure you were aware of all that. So
Yes. The package you sent to me in the mail came a day late. I had already, for some reason, the counselor had taken up on it, probably because of our phone call conversations and stuff. But they took up on it and passed around the W-4 forms that we needed, or 1040 forms, whatever it is that they were at the time. I can't remember now, but I filled one out and sent it in. So hopefully I will get that. That will help out with me and Agnes trying to connect up again. I don't know what the formality of the scheduling and stuff is right now. One day we hear that things are going to be opened up by March, and then the next day we're hearing that it's going to be a whole year again before any of that, and yada yada, and this and that. And I think there is something that is causing these deaths, but I don't think it's a coronavirus thing. I think it's something else.
Yeah.
Because with Ted Hilden, he sent me information that shows that this thing that they've labeled coronavirus 19 was in existence in 2017 or even earlier.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the parameters are from that, and they've never ever really come out and said what the symptoms are, other than sniffling and coughing and irritability and that sort of thing. That covers a wide gamut of things that don't fall under coronavirus to me. We've had 44 deaths here in the Walla Walla County here, and that's one half of 1% of the population in this county. So we've been real lucky with that.
Yeah. You know, they want us to think that we have a choice between a vaccine or being locked down, and I don't choose either choice. I don't want a vaccine. There ain't no way in hell they're going to stick me with a vaccine, and I ain't letting them lock me down, and I ain't wearing their stupid masks. So the whole world just seems to have lost its ever-loving mind. I mean, it really is absolutely crazy out here. Most of the people have bought into this mask, and they won't even let you like go into a store without one. But we do all the time anyway. But I'm just saying that the world has lost its mind. You know what's really sad, Patrick, is these little babies and these little toddlers that are like less than 4 years old, and they cover up their faces, and you can tell they're having a hard time breathing. It's child abuse to put a mask on a little kid like that.
Yes. And the ones that are in power, and I believe that this evolved out of the G7 meeting that Trump went to just at the first of the year, first of January or just February over in Europe, and it all seems to follow a pattern after that. Everybody was prepared for this.
Yeah.
I mean, there was things that didn't show, and they cut off everything else. All of a sudden, all of the shootings stopped. All of the illnesses, other illnesses that were taking life, seemed to not exist, and the only thing that was running amok was this pandemic, and it was for 4 months. It was less than 0.5% of the population that were supposed to be getting ill from it.
Yep. And
that,
yep.
that put it at the lowest point of death rate of 9, 10, or 11 other illnesses, and the biggest one that was taking life was abortion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. That's right. Yep.
So
you know, in these
that's from Ted.
Yep, Ted Eldon,
That's
right?
Ted Eldon.
Okay. Yeah, he seems to be a good guy that writes prisoners' letters, so I appreciate what he's doing there. And you know, these old folks' homes, they're locking the old folks up so they can't even visit their families. And if they claim they have COVID, which, you know, this positive testing for COVID is such a phony baloney thing, because you can say that somebody has COVID even though they don't have COVID, and what happens is they get like $30,000 from the government or even more. And so
$200,000 and more.
Aaron says even $200,000. So if you can say that your elderly person has COVID, then the government will send you $200,000. That's a financial incentive for everybody to have COVID. It's just insanity, man.
Yes. And well, maybe you should do that for me so that we could get me an attorney to get my whole ended body out of here.
There you go.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's crazy, and it's a way to take away people's freedoms and tell them we're doing this, but we're doing it for your own good. So live with it. And there's no end in sight of when they're going to stop this, because all of a sudden this COVID is such a deadly disease. There's so many people that's dying from it, yada, 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 and it just spirals out of control. And I just have a funny feeling that after Election Day, all of a sudden, things are going to change.
Yeah.
Be advised, because I'm seeing things like this. Chemtrails in the sky today. There was no planes out and stuff for the last 2 months, and now today they're making lines in the sky that if I hold my hand up, I can see the lines between my fingers opened up.
Yeah.
That's just like plowing a field.
Yeah. Yeah, people just don't quite understand how evil the people that run the world are, and how much they lie to us. And they always say they have a good reason. You know, they've got to stop global warming, or they're giving us vaccines for our own good. But ultimately, it's killing us and making us unhealthy, and it's stealing our money. And it's just they don't understand how wicked these people are, and they're basically trying to enslave humanity. And this mask thing is driving me crazy, and I damn sure ain't going to get no vaccine. So
there are ones in power right now that will take out the frontline people if they feel it's in their best interest, and they will live 2 seconds longer than everybody else. They're willing to parley that 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Oh yeah.
That's a low life that shouldn't exist in the first place, in my understanding.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
I used to, as a kid, have to take out skunks and badgers and coyotes and things like that were raiding the chicken house and stuff. And I don't know what the promotion was from my dad, but he had one thing about a hen that tried to crow. He says if you ever hear that, you find that hen and you destroy it immediately. I don't know what the deal was with that, but he was pretty adamant about that, along with coyotes and hawks and things like that take the chickens too. So
yep.
It was a strange thing. I don't know.
Yep. Well, you mentioned badger. You mentioned badgers, and I watched a video recently of a honey badger. I don't know if you know much about them, but those honey badgers,
Yes,
man, you
yes.
just simply don't mess with them. They may not be big or they may not look like much, but you simply don't want to mess with a honey badger. They are the most ferocious animals you can imagine.
Well, they're cousins. They're cousins to wolverines too, and wolverines will, if they have a amenity against you or bad feeling against you, they will nurture that, and they will continue to act on that until you're either out of their territory or you don't exist anymore.
Right.
So that's where that's at, and it's said by the old timers and stuff that if wolverines were 100 pounds instead of 35, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep, you're right about that.
I had a time when just before I left the folks' place after we'd gotten out of the cattle business and stuff, I had to go up on the hill to see about the irrigation. And as I crossed the field behind the house, and it was only 4 or 5 acres, but I was going up the hill, and there was a little knoll that was in between me and what I could see over on the other side. And when I got to where I could see, there was a mother badger and her youngster. And when they saw me, they stopped for a minute. And this is the only time that in about 35 or 40 years that I've seen or anybody's heard of a wolverine being in our area. And after I saw that, I went and did my job, and when I come back, they were gone. They had passed through, and never seen or heard from them again, but I guess it was something that I was supposed to see and know at the time. And I told the folks about it, and they had their guard up and stuff, but they were just a traveling couple. They were looking for new territory.
That's good news. You don't want to live next to a wolverine or a honey badger. You know?
Yeah.
Well, let me know as time goes on, and if you do get that stimulus check, I'm real interested if you do manage to get it, because that'll give me some advice I can give to other prisoners. So I hope they.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan
Yes,
of.
I will.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of government handouts, but since the government has basically taken you prisoner and taken you captive, I think that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. So that's what the Bible says. So I think you ought to take
Yes.
I think you ought to take as much as you can from them. You know.
Yes, I believe in that too. That's why I put in that lawsuit against the federal government and the World Bank and the Federal Reserve Bank about the taking of the land here, because that was all under that procedure.
Yeah.
The World Bank was the one that funded Mr. Grant to try to take our land at the time. They come to us with a treaty offering us this land, which was already ours, to live on, so that they could have peaceful travel across the territory. And before the treaty got back to Washington, D.C. to be validated and stuff, Ulysses Grant sent General Sherman and all the cavalry that had fought, that stayed on from the Civil War.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And the cavalry in Fort Walla Walla and Fort Spokane and Fort Okanagan all went to drive my people out, and there was at least 1,800 people that lost their lives in that drive.
Wow.
Before we got across the river.
Wow. Hey, we're running out of. Yeah, I'm sorry, Patrick. We're running out of time. I want you to finish your thought. But how long do you get out of your cell per?
30 seconds remaining.
How long do you get out of your cell per day? Are they locking you down because of COVID?
No, we're out in the day room, and we have to wear masks out of our cell. But after the guards go, we don't have to wear our masks.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing good. God bless bless you.
We love
Have
you,
a good
Patrick.
day.
Okay, we love you. Take care. God
Love you
bless.
too.
All right.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.